Good morning, YouTube, and today I'll be profiling for you an updated Dragunity deck profile, including the cards from Cybernetic Horizon. This is definitely a different build like most of mine are, but I have some really nice combos that I'll feature a little bit here at the end of the video, so please don't drop out after you see the first weird card. Let's hop right into it. Starting off with our first monster and our first butchered name, we have Dragunity Armor Levitan. This guy is this nice little powerhouse, not featured in most Dragunity decks, but he's really cool in the fact that he's 2600 beat stick that you can just special summon from hand or grave by banishing a monster equipped with another monster in the field. Really nice if your opponent locks you out like Synchro or your extra deck, they extra link you. Gives an extra nice little beater that I kind of enjoy, and even gives you some potential for some Synchro plays once you do have a field open. Next, we only run 2 Dragunity Armor Miscellane. I kind of wanted to run a 3, and I may in the future pop this up to 3. It gives you some nice plays, lets you go into your big dude a lot easier. Goes to some other rank 8s and Synchro 8s. It's pretty cool. It's just always a great card, Dragunities. Next, we have a new card, Dragunity Senatus. Again, I'm butchering these names really bad. But he's really nice in the fact that you can discard a Dragunity card, equip one Dragunity tuner from your deck to this card, but you can't special summon monsters except for Dragon monsters from your extra deck, and you can only use it once per turn. If a Dragunity card you control will be destroyed by a battle or card effect, you can destroy a Dragunity card equipped to this card instead. It has some nice little protection effects, and especially equipped with some other tech choices in here, it's pretty darn nice. It gets your play starts for your OTK potential. Next, we run a playset of Dragunity decks. This is definitely a staple, always has been, and Dragunities gives you, essentially this card, plus a Dragon Ravine gives you instant clearing, it's just all-around great card. If you know Dragunities, you know ducks. Next, we still run 2 Dragunity Milotum. In my personal build, I like to have the option to special summon monsters that are equipped to them. I run some monsters that don't special summon themselves, so she's kind of nice and gives you some extra little potential fodder and ability to go into rank 4s a little bit easier. And rounding up our monsters, our equipped monsters, as I like to call them, we run a Dragunity Legionnaire. He gives you the ability to pop back row and face-up monsters, rather. His natural effect is popping face-up monsters, and then you equip him with Acolytes and gives you some extra power, some boost. Just a nice little tech choice that gives you some board clearance along with the rest of your cards. Moving on to our Dragon Tuners, we still run a playset of Dragunity Acolytes. This is definitely a stranger choice. I run a playset because it gives you your Levitan quicker, equip it to Milotum, you special summoner, then you can extra an instant monster. It's just all around great card, and especially you can use it in combo with Vajrayana to double its attack and pop a card in the field. So it's just a nice all around card if you're running out of options. Next, we run 2 Phalanx. 3, in my opinion, is a little bit too extreme. For the longest time, I never had 3, and I ran it at 2. I never really found a case where I needed 3, so when I did finally get my 3rd, I didn't really run it in here. Next, we run 2 of the Dragunity Couse. This is definitely a key portion to getting to your new Synchro. We really run 2 because it's kind of dead in the hand in comparison to a lot of other cards. We would like to search for it with our Senatus, so we only run 2. All around, it's not that bad. You could bump it up to 3 or you can drop it down to 1, your choice. Next, we run a Dragunity Brandistock. This is definitely a non-traditional Dragunity monster, but he enables you to go for this OTK that this deck allows, and it's something you definitely don't want to see in your opening hand. You want to search for it, so we're going to run it as 1. Our next monster is Garuda the Wind Spirit. This just gives you the ability to go into your Synchro plays, another option. Your Seas plays, go for Link 2. Just an all-around great card that's always been fantastic in Dragunities. And now, rounding up our monsters, we run a playset of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Definitely hand traps are seeing a great impact in today's meta, and in order to get your plays to go off, you really need to run as many cards that help you out as possible. So I run a playset of Ash to round up our monsters. Moving on to our spell cards. I don't run any traps because this is definitely a combo-heavy deck. We run a playset of Dragon Ravine. Of course, this searches for just about any single card in your deck, or dumps a monster from your deck. It's all around, always been a staple in Dragunities. Fantastic, that's a 3, has been for a little while, but I'm still happy. Next, we play a playset of Terraforming to search, of course, our Dragon Ravine. You want to see Ravine on your play start as quick as possible, so we definitely want to play a playset. Next, we run a Divine Lance. This is another key card in your play starting combo. Allows you to equip a Dragunity to the monster it's equipped to from your deck, and it makes it unaffected by track cards. So it's always a fantastic card to have, and you definitely want to see it in your opening hand. Next, we run a Playset of Call by the Grave. This is definitely, again, a combo-heavy deck that relies heavily on getting your plays started. So hand traps, being as predominant as they are, you want to avoid them as much as possible. It's definitely a good main deck option. You can obviously sign it out for anything you want to, but I prefer to play Call by the Grave at a playset. Next, we play 1 cards of Consonance. This is definitely something you can bump up because you have currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Dragon tuners without 1,000 or less attack that you can utilize this with. I typically only have 1, so I've only run it at 1 at this current moment. Might bump it up the more I test it, and just proved it might be a decent card to run. Next, we run a Soul Charge and a Monster Reborn. This is, of course, to utilize anything in your graveyard. You can dump cards to your graveyard easily. Great late game, always fantastic. You don't really need to explain those too much. And a Dark Hole in Raigeki because you want to utilize potential to have the OTK as quick as possible, so I don't mind running board wipes in this deck. Moving on to our extra deck, of course, butchering the names once again, we have the new and awesome Dragunity Ascalon. This is your OTK utilizer. You can banish a Dragunity from a graveyard, pop a card in the field. Let's see, I have to read the rest of his effects, because that's the main one you need. If he's destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon a Dragunity Synchro from your monster with 3,000 or less attack from your extra deck. It's treated as a secret summon, and you can use that once per turn. So, really, he lets you special summon any Dragunity from your extra deck if he's sent to the graveyard, besides himself. And just the OTK really is utilized by clearing your opponent's field. It just gives you some nice stats that we'll hop into here after a little bit. Next, run a Playset of Vajrayana. This is always has been one of your go-to Dragunity cards in your extra deck. It gives you a first turn Crystal Wing. It can give you a stepping stone to Ascalon. Always a great card. His second effect that most people don't use, you can tribute the card equipped to it in order to double his attack for that turn, making him 3,800. But if you attribute an Acolyte, you get to pop card on the field. So it definitely gives you some extra sneak potential if you know what you're doing. Next, we run an OG Dragunity Gay Dirge. This took me forever to finally obtain, and now I just love it. He's really a searcher of the deck, something you like to have, you don't need. It gives you an extra option other than your Ravine to get your play stars going, especially as you're progressing through your deck. Next, we run a Dragunity Knight Trident. This is great in the fact that it really works with Ascalon. That's one of the few ways you're going to be getting this guy out. You can also use it with a Legionnaire and a Course, but usually I just use it with Ascalon, his effect. So the nice part about Trident is you can tribute 3 cards in the field. You can be including himself. Look at your opponent's extra deck and send 3 cards from it to the graveyard. That can be detrimental, especially in today's meta when stuff relies heavily on the extra deck. If you know what their combo pieces are, you can get rid of them almost immediately. So it's always great to have Trident. One of the few cards that you can actually look at your opponent's extra deck and get rid of their cards. Next, we run a Dragunity Barca. So the strange thing about Barca is that it requires non-tuner winged beast monsters and dragon-type tuners, so you can't really use it with Mistlane, but you can use a lot of other cards to utilize, especially including Couse. You equip it to your ducks. You can go to Barca as quickly as possible if you want to in this deck. It also works with Ascalon to put special summon out after you go through Ascalon's effect. It's always nice and definitely has gained some more utility as it gains some more stat boost with each Dragunity that equipped to it, and just gives you some nice little surprises that you can utilize with this deck. Next, we run a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. This has been something you see definitely in newer versions of Dragunities. Monster Negate first turn, nothing to complain about. This is, if you're going first, this is a card you most typically want to go into. Rounding up our synchros, we run 2 Leo, Keeper of the Sacred Tree. I would definitely recommend running another Dragunity Ascalon instead of 2 Leos, but Leos is definitely something that you can go into pretty consistently, and 3,100 attack is something that you can't really complain about, and the ability to be unaffected by targeted by your opponent's card effects except during your main phase 2, nothing to plan out, and definitely a nice dude that they're going to have to work hard to get around, so for right now I run him at 2. Definitely would bump him down just to 1, but I still wouldn't take him out. Next, we're on 2 Great Flies. This is something that you can utilize, especially if like your soul charge going off, or if you just have some optimal hands and you need an extra synchro monster field, you can link to for this Great Fly. It's generic, wind, gives you recursion of monsters if it's sent to the graveyard, so you can bring back your Ducks, your Cenotes, anybody. So it's great to just run it as 2, just in case you need it. And we do run 2 XCs. We run a Castell and a Tornado Dragon. Part of it, I might run Gaga Cowboy or 101 instead, but I like it for the ability that they're winds and Castells, and with the base, so it gives some more utility with this deck and synergy. So that wraps up our X deck. Now let's hop into the combo. Alright, so moving on to our OTK combo. This is something that you can utilize. Cenotes is definitely one of the optimal things that you can, probably the easiest way to get it out. You can also do it with many other different ways, but this is really the easiest one to explain, and so we're going to hop into it. So all you need for this is a Cenotes and a Divine Lance. Lance is required for this OTK, so I don't have any way of searching it, so it's something that you don't see as often as you need to, but it's something that can happen semi-frequently. So let's hop into this combo. Start off, you're going to normal summon your Cenotes, okay? At this point in time, you're going to discard a Dragunity monster, anyone. Let's just say, worst case scenario, you have another copy of him. So you discard 1 to the graveyard, and at this point in time, you're going to equip a Couse. Okay, at this point in time, you can special summon Couse due to his own effect, and he can be either treated as a level 2 or as a level 4. But we're just going to use him for the 2. We're going to synchro up into our Vajrayana. Vajrayana will then equip Couse back to it. You special summon Couse out again. Synchro to the Ascalon. So at this point in time, you're going to equip Dragunity Divine Lance to it. And before you utilize Divine... Actually, you can utilize Divine Lance right now. But at this point in time, you have actually 4 Dragunity's cards in your graveyard that you can use to banish and target your opponent's monsters for destruction. So that's pretty great and can definitely allow you to go for that OTK. But at this point in time, you want to use the Lance's effect to equip Bandastock to it. So now, currently, you have a monster that has 4,300 attack, I believe, and can attack twice, and is unaffected by trap cards. Plus, you can remove up to 4 cards, maybe more, depending or less, depending on what combo you use to get out Ascalon, as he is generic, so long as you have a Dragon-type tuner. You can utilize this with Leviathan, and there's just so many different ways you can utilize to bring this guy out. And with Lance in your opening board, this is definitely something that you can't really complain about. And I know a lot of builds can really want the new Cryston monster, I forgot what his name is, to make this deck utilize. And this is just something far more simple that you can use with just the time being, and a lot less combo based if you're trying to just get into Dragunities. So I hope you can gather something from this Dragunity deck profile. Thanks, and have a great day.